All right, well, it's September and it's time to get my tree stands out. I'd actually would have liked to have them out a little bit earlier, but just so busy with work and other things, haven't had time. But what I'm going to replace is the double ladder stand. It really does blend in there. You can barely see it, especially when you get over here. If the deer will stand right here, you'd never see us up there. But it's really growing in. Lots of branches are growing, but I'm going to trim that out later. But we're just going to replace the stand here. And I got a new one set up, so we'll get that. This stand has at least, oh my, this stand's really old. It's going on probably 8 years, 9 years, and never taken down. It's always out in the elements. So not that it is rusted to the point where it's unsafe, but the shooting bar, which you're not supposed to grab a hold of when you're getting up into these double ladder stands, the shooting rail, but that has become a little flimsy where you can't quite rest a gun on it anymore because it moves too much. So I got a new tree stand, a Summit double ladder stand, and we're going to replace that one. And I put this somewhere that not really going to need, maybe for a backup stand. Got the old stand down, the new stand ready to go up, and you can see the difference in the shooting rail. It rests on the top here, where the old shooting rail rested on these little tiny thin flaps of metal that you can see are starting to bend, and I just didn't like that. Not that it wasn't safe, it just, you couldn't put much weight on it over time, and you could see that it was starting to bend over time, that shooting rail, which it would fold up out of your way if you needed it to. But this one here is going to be resting on here, and it's elevated, it's at an angle. So what I thought was pretty cool is I found this, and I believe it's by Mare Step, and look how easy it's going to be for me alone to put up a double ladder stand just by hand cranking this thing around. Now I'll get this thing set up so I can videotape myself lifting this up, and I'm in a jack. Looks like it's going to be pretty easy. There's some other parts that go with it that I may not use, but once I get this all set up, I'll show you. We have the winch at chest height. Now this tree is about 2 feet in diameter. It's a pretty good sized tree. Maybe 20 inches in diameter, and that ratchet strap just fit around that tree. I didn't tighten it too tight, but I got it where it ain't moving and moving around too much. Now, it came with these spikes, and you can see how these would actually go up inside like this, and then you would push these down into the ground so that when you're bringing it up, these don't slide coming back to the tree, because you're going to take this and you're going to bring this out here, and this is how you're supposed to set this up. You come around the bottom of this, in front, through the back, up over, and through this. And then this is what you're going to tie the hook on to your winch. Okay, there we got it attached to the tree. Comes the whole way down here, hooked on. Got it facing the right way and laying down, and it should go just above the Y of that tree. And this is, I believe, a 17 feet to the foot rail, I think, so the platform. So let's give this a try. Okay, something I learned real fast. I had to tie this with the ratchet straps to keep this from falling, because what would happen is as soon as I would start cranking on it, the tree stand, because the ground is sloped this way, and the tree, you can see it's not perfectly straight, and so, but I can get it to work because it's worked for the past several years. The tree doesn't have to be perfectly, straight up and down, but just because of the lay of the land, and I don't want to cut all these branches and stuff out of here to bring it over onto level ground closer to those trees, I have to come over here where the ground is uneven, and it's when I start tightening that up, this tree stand starts to come up off the ground and it slides down this way. So I put that ratchet strap over there to hold it from sliding down, so we'll see how that works now. That worked awesome. That was awesome. Well, I tell you what, once you get about halfway, it really comes easier. Now, what it says is not to come the whole way. That's why I walked around and pushed it up the rest of the way. One thing is, we've had like almost flood-like conditions the past 3 days. This ground is so soft that the foot pegs were starting to come up out of the ground and slide. So that's something that you just want to keep an eye on. I put my foot there just to be safe. As you can see, the strap is loose and it is just leaning. There's no straps on it. It's just leaning the way it's supposed to up against the tree. Now, that's not exactly the way I want it. I actually want it facing more this way, the stand. So I'm just gonna kind of pick it up and roll it around. See if we could do that. All right, as you can see, I got it moved around the side of the tree. What I'm going to do is, you can see that this isn't perfectly straight with the tree. So I'm gonna loosen this. I'm gonna bring it over so that we can get lined up straight with the tree, so that I can get my stabilizer on and use that to pull it tight up against the tree so I can go up there and put them ratchet straps on. And I have this, I'm gonna tighten up and keep that for a backup. So all right, we got her strapped all different ways. Now it's pretty rigid. It's not really going anywhere. So I'll climb up there and get the next strap on. The first strap on, and she's pretty secure up there now. Now I just gotta go up there and get the other ones, and I'm gonna put a lot of ratchet straps on there so that thing does not move at all. All right, that worked awesome. I mean, having the extra trees, now if I was in the woods, I would have had more options of anchoring off to things, and you know, making sure I have double anchors on, good anchor on here, and I left that on. Was able to go up there and get that first strap on, and before you actually walk and step on top of the platform. But this tree stand is only, I believe, doesn't seem like I'm up here very high until you get up here, but it's just the way the lay of the land is. Okay. I believe to the feet, to the bottom of the platform is 17 feet. So, I mean, I'm from where my old marks were, right here. I'm only a couple inches shy. Here you can see where the old straps were and stuff. So, not much of a difference. There's a good look at the food plot. It's growing up so fast, it's unbelievable. What's amazing is that tree stand there used to be on that tree, the one that's leaning. Yeah, and look at all the autumn olive that have grown out into the field by, oh, at least 20 feet over the past 10 years. And I try to keep most of this stuff knocked down with the brush hog now and then, but I can only do so much. I only got so much time. So I made some paths out around the edges just to keep the brush back and keep it from growing in. I came up here earlier in the year, and you can see I tried spraying a lot of this autumn olive, just because, I mean, I don't have time to mow it most of the time. So I just try to spray it, and you got to keep on it. I mean, if you don't, you'll have big giant bushes like that. And hey, it makes great deer habitat, but you know, I'd rather see trees growing than brush. And like right here in front of me, I got a walnut tree growing. So I throw a lot of walnuts out over the years. All these pine trees I planted a long time ago, and I even threw them walnut trees, walnuts all through this property, all over, I mean, bedfuls. Just fill my truck bed full and just scatter them all over the place. And so that's been almost 20 years, and you can see how much it's grown up. This used to be just nothing but field. And but yeah, I'll come back up here probably tomorrow, and I'll knock just a couple branches of new growth so I can get some shots out into that food plot. And a lot of this stuff, I really want to keep it myself hidden. So, but this tree stand, I love this shooting rail. As you can see, the last shooting rail, it came straight over here. So if you wanted to aim your gun, you had to drop your head way low just to get even, because it goes uphill. And that's the problem. Right here, it goes downhill, so it looks like I'm really, really high up. And then over here, it goes uphill, which keeps the deer only, 50 yards away. They're almost eye level. And so that's the only problem with the shooting rail and with any other blind that I've seen, especially if you need to take a shot here. Probably knock some of this stuff down so that you can sit and rest the gun on here to take a shot. But that's just the way it's gonna have to be. So I hope you guys like that little hand crank. Look in the description of the video, and I should have a link to the Amazon store where I recommend things for archery, snake hunting, ice fishing, whatever, and I have them all categorized. So if you guys are wanting to know the products that we're using, we're not really sponsored by anyone. We don't get paid by anyone, not even by Summit or anything. This is just something that I was researching. I wanted a new stand, and this is what I picked. I'm sure there's probably better ones out there, but I was looking for the price range. It fit me, was exactly what I was looking for. But again, like I said, if you guys are wanting to know, I believe it's a Maristep that has that hand crank. I'm not sure. There could be other ones, but that's the one I got. Like I said, look in the description and you can find that. And so archery videos are going to be coming out soon. It's going to be really, really close. I plan on shooting a deer with my bow, first time since 2011. And then probably take Danielle out for the early muzzleloader season. Plan on shooting a deer with another old rifle, so stay tuned during the second week of rifle season. Got cousins coming up from Florida. Brendan will be up. I don't know whether I'll have time to film or not, but we'll just have to see. And then the flintlock season. So I do plan to at least save one tag for the late season, make that period dress hunt. And so I'm hoping to at least get 3 or 4 at least deer down on video. And plus, during the opening day, Danielle will be here trying to shoot her first buck. I usually don't even take the rifle anymore because I'd save my buck tag most of the time for late season. If there's a big monster buck out there, I'd rather see her shoot it and get her first buck or something. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you come archery season.